This video tackles the role of knowledge management systems in business, with specific focus on three main topics, starting from looking at the different dimensions of knowledge, then analyzing how knowledge is managed and its value chain, and finally we'll consider the major types of knowledge management systems in business. Nowadays, the production and distribution of both information and knowledge are a major source of income and prosperity in our economy. Consequently, most of a firm's value depends on its ability to create and manage knowledge. For example, in 2016, around 55% of the US GDP was generated in knowledge and information sectors. Despite all this, knowledge is conceptually an intangible asset, which means that it is hard to measure the impacts of investments in this area. Firstly, it is important to look at some concepts regarding knowledge. Data can be defined as the flow of events or transactions captured by an organization's systems. Organizing that data into relevant categories of understanding, such as monthly, regional, or store-based reports of total sales, converts it into information. Knowledge appears when a firm discovers patterns, rules, and contexts upon which the information is useful. Finally, wisdom comes from the individual and collective experience of applying that knowledge. It is about knowing where, when, and how to apply it. Knowledge is both a collective and individual attribute of a firm. It can be either documented or simply existing in people's minds, and we call it explicit and tacit knowledge respectively. As an analogy, we can look at it as an iceberg, in which explicit knowledge is visible and easily accessible by everyone, and the tacit knowledge tends to stick individually, being less visible organization-wide. In conclusion, the process of acquiring data, organizing it, and matching it with relevant contexts allows organizations to learn. Knowledge is a unique asset of the firm, and those who can learn from their environment more efficient and effectively will arguably survive longer than those who can't. We can define knowledge management as the set of business processes developed by a firm to acquire, store, disseminate, and apply knowledge. This chain of steps, also known as the knowledge management value chain, facilitates the transformation of data all the way into wisdom by defining for each stage both information system and management and organizational activities. It is important to remark that effective knowledge management relies a lot more in the management and organizational activities than it does on the information system ones. The 80-20 ratio can be an accurate picture of effort regarding each of these types of activities. For example, the Japanese division of a multinational tax firm wanted to implement a new KM system to reduce cost and time of research of opinion letters, as well as taking advantage of the previous research through sharing. While the hardware and software were relatively easy to install and eagerly adopted by the employees, there were critical challenges on the organizational side of the system, such as the managers not being comfortable to share their knowledge, or the system's transparency giving rise to competitive environments within the teams, which was rather contrasting with the culture of teams in Japan. The inability to overcome these challenges on the management and organizational side eventually led to the KM system to be scrapped less than a year afterwards, despite the initial eagerness to adopt it. Therefore, building organizational and management capital becomes a key part of a good knowledge management system. In order to do that, managers can develop new organizational roles and responsibilities that facilitate the acquisition of knowledge. Furthermore, the establishment of communities of practice has proven to be an effective solution within organizations like IBM or the World Bank. COPs are informal social networks of professionals with similar work-related activities and interests. They often foster activities like self and group education, as well as sharing of experiences and techniques for problem solving, greatly contributing to collective knowledge generation. Ultimately, COPs also allow new employees to learn faster and can even act as hubs for innovation within organizations. These communities greatly depend on environments that enable collaboration and communication, making this area also crucial to be worked upon when building an organizational and management capital of a firm. There are three major types of knowledge management systems nowadays: enterprise-wide systems, knowledge work systems, and intelligent techniques. The first one consists of firm-wide efforts to manage knowledge. They include capabilities for searching for information and locating employee expertise within the firm. Knowledge work systems are specialized systems built for knowledge workers. They help these groups discovering and creating new knowledge. Finally, intelligent techniques cover a wide range of purposes such as knowledge discovery, conversion of knowledge into a set of rules, or finding optimal solutions for problems.